Number 17, a hospital executive says, at a recent conference on nonprofit management, several computer experts maintained, again that word maintained, I just noticed shit like that because it's maintained, it's got a flavor to it. It's got a little, you can tell that they're skeptical when they say that. Several computer experts maintained that the most significant threat faced by large institutions such as universities and hospitals is unauthorized access to confidential data. I don't even know what type of question this is, but I feel like I already know the answer. Just by being skeptical. Number one skill for the LSAT logical reasoning is you've got to be an asshole. I mean, you need a big chip on your shoulder and you need to be saying, what? What are you talking? And I mean, think about this now. These are computer nerds. It says they're described as computer experts. There's several of them at least, so they're like in mass. But these computer experts are saying, hey, hospitals and universities, the biggest threat you face is unauthorized access to your data? You skeptical about that? I mean, I can think of other potential threats. Bombings, major earthquake that leads to like a crazy run on hospitals, shortage of nurses, crisis of exploding healthcare costs, crisis of exploding tuitions. Can't we name like a million other potential threats? Oh, but the computer guys are saying it's unauthorized access to data. I'm skeptical. Conclusion says, in light of this testimony, we should make the protection of our client's confidentiality our highest priority. So the hospital executive now is just going all in on what he heard at the conference that day. And I'm just imagining myself, like you're at the conference, you go with your boss to the conference, you're in the car on the way home, and the boss is now about to fly off the handle with like, hey, we gotta it's our highest priority. We need to fire all of the professors so that we can use their salary money to hire better computer people so that we can protect the data of our students, because that's really important. And you're in the car on the way home with your crazy boss, and I think at that point you have to say, hey boss, maybe that's just one opinion, and maybe that's not, maybe you don't need to just immediately accept the conclusion of these. I get it that they're experts, but they're computer experts. I don't think they're experts in running a hospital or a university. Question says, the hospital executive's argument is most vulnerable to which one of the following objections? Victoria, did you ask for this one?
Yes.
What type of question is that?
Weakening.
Ah, Victoria's really good at the logical reasoning, but she doesn't know what type of question that is. You guys want to help her out? Flaw is her second guess? Yeah. The difference between flaw questions and weakened questions are going to say which one of the following, if true, would cause the argument the most problems. Flaw questions are going to say which one of the following is a problem with the argument. And that's what this one says. The argument is most vulnerable to which one of the following objections. And flaw questions, because you're looking for a flaw that's inherent in the argument, it's not a weakened question where you can pick a fantasy answer, about Martians or whatever. It's which one of these is an existing problem in the argument, and then the analysis gets to be a little bit like must be true questions, where it's like, hey, I can't accuse this guy of making a flaw that he did not actually make. So I have to be a little bit calmer, safe, conservative in the answer that I pick here. I'm looking for what did they do and it's a problem. So A, did the argument confuse the cause of a problem with the appropriate solutions to that problem? I don't even know what that means. What would that, really? The cause is the solution? I don't see how that doesn't seem, no. B, The argument relies on the testimony. Wait, I just thought of one. Smoking. Smoking cures smoking. Right? Smoking will stop you from smoking. Whatever. You guys don't like that. That's fine. See, I got the laugh anyway. B. The argument relies on the testimony of experts whose expertise is not shown to be sufficiently broad to support their general claim, and that's exactly the answer. We've taken the testimony of computer experts and just said, oh yeah, they're absolutely right about how to run my university or how to run my hospital. And even though they are experts, they're not experts in that. This is a common flaw. It's been tested on the LSAT for at least as long as I've been teaching the LSAT, which is 10 years now. And you got to look out for that one. You got to train yourself to see that one. Victoria, I'm really curious what you picked. E. E says, the argument infers that a property belonging to large institutions belongs to all institutions. It just didn't do that. The hospital executive, he took the advice of these experts and he then applied it to his institution. But I mean, in order for E to be the answer, it would be like, because large institutions have boards of directors, therefore Fox LSAT has a board of directors. That's what E is describing. And that's certainly a flaw, because Fox LSAT is a very small organization, and just because large institutions have board of directors doesn't mean that I have to have a board of directors. That would be a flaw, but it's just not the flaw that this hospital executive actually is guilty of. Okay? You want to hear about C or D? D? D says, the argument draws a general conclusion about a group based on data about an unrepresentative sample of that group. And it didn't do that either. You can't pick, the unrepresentative sample answer is one of the most common wrong answers for flaw questions. It is sometimes the right answer, but it's only the right answer if they gave you reason to believe that the sample is unrepresentative. It's a much safer answer on weaken questions, because on weaken questions, it's if true. And if it's true that they used a small sample, then that already just maybe ruins their argument. But on a flaw question, you have to know they used a small sample before you can accuse them of using that small sample. And they just gave us no reason to believe that here. We got several computer experts. We don't know how they reached their conclusion. So then we can't pick D.